Please sir, धंधा दे दो. That boy was a stupid boy who thought 100 crores तो ऐसे आ जाएगा. Our pitch to QSRs was, and at that time I remember, leaving the Domino's office thinking ये company अब चल जाएगी. Once we got Domino's, we got.
An interesting part of your journey has been like typically most D2C founders start with the online route, right? And you completely went in the opposite direction and you started offline. And that too specifically, you started your journey in QSR, right? Quick service retail. How did that journey begin and what were some of the critical success factors that sort of helped you click and, sort of convert into QSR?
So, when I started this organization, I was at that time very clear that Veeba will be a retail brand. But retail is expensive. It takes, feet on the ground. You have to hire hundreds and hundreds of people, and that costs money. So in my head, I thought, let's do B2B first. And एक बार B2B से volume आ जाएगी, and I made a mental goal in my head that the day Veeba hits 100 crores in revenue, we will enter distribution. That boy was a stupid boy who thought 100 crores to aise aa jayega. I did not realize what's in store for me. So at that time, India's largest chain was Domino's Pizza. Still is the largest chain of QSRs. So went to Domino's, nothing sexy there. Just went, begged, pleaded, please, please, please. So the first thing is if you want to supply to Domino's, your plants have to be audited. Once the plants are audited, after that the begging phase starts. That please, right, sir, धंधा दे दो. So after 4-5 months of extreme groveling, they finally relented. We got 70 tons of, that was the first order, and the first time I thought ये company अब चल जाएगी, शायद बंद नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. 70,000 kgs का एक order मिला था, and I was like, wow, that was 1 month of production for us. And at that time I remember going, leaving the Domino's office thinking ये company अब चल जाएगी. To put things into perspective, today it is roughly half an hour's production, but at that time it was 1 month's production. And I remember feeling that ecstatic thing. And once we got Domino's, we got, I think, barring my failed restaurants, the 1 year of starting the plant and not having any business was the toughest of my life. Once we got Domino's, after that life became a bit easy because once Domino's came to us, other QSR chains took notice. Pizza Hut came, KFC came. And once, all of these guys came, we reached our 100 crore revenue mark in the next 3 years or so. And then we entered retail because we could hire people. And I know this is a business show, but I have to be very candid. God has been really kind. We did not plan for what happened in retail. The consumer just showered us with love. I mean, we have more consumers who have 2 or 3 or 4 SKUs in their fridge than 1 SKU. I mean, which FMCG company will not give? This wasn't planned. I mean, we were just focused on making great products at the right value. But the other things just happened after that.
So even with these QSR people, was it the fact that you were one of the only companies that had these international flavors that sort of gave you the access, or was it something else? Was it the positioning?
No, we entered on health. Our pitch to QSRs was that you're anyways, for example, selling fried chicken. Why don't we reduce the fat from the mayonnaise? That was our pitch to them. Let's reduce calories wherever possible. Let's reduce sugar wherever possible. That was our pitch to them. So we were not being a Me Too product. We were doing something which wasn't done earlier.
So differentiation was the key. Without that differentiation, that entry would have not probably been possible.
Yeah, and we were competing with the biggest names of the country at that time. So, there was no point fighting with them on price cuts because their pockets were much deeper than us at that time.
No, so I think this sort of, again, lends back to what D2C is about, right? It's about consumer first, right? So you've been able to find a differentiation or a white space, right? Which is the caloric content, and use that as a penetration strategy for QSR, because then for them that becomes also a story to further communicate, right, in terms of the caloric value of their own products.
Absolutely.